Greetings, my name's Robert Wiebe, and I'm the founder of the Saliba Douaihy Foundation. I'd like to thank you for your visit. I'm here to talk to you today about the scholarship program that our foundation is sponsoring, and I'd like to explain to you a little bit about why and how this came about. My uncle, my great uncle actually, was an internationally renowned artist, represented in many major museums throughout the world. Solomon Guggenheim, David Rockefeller, Museum of Modern Art, Calcutta Institute, the Arab Institute in Paris, and many other acclaims, one-man shows, retrospectives, etc. Unfortunately, he was not honored properly, so this year, in order to properly honor this man, we created the Saliba Douaihy Foundation. It's a non-profit public corporation specifically for educational and charitable purposes. To tell you a little bit about my uncle and the man this foundation is named after and the sponsor of the scholarship, he was born in 1915 in a little mountain village in Lebanon, Ehten. As young kids often do during the summer months, the spring months, you want to look out the window instead of studying, and he used to doodle. And his teachers noticed his doodlings were so impressive that they went to a prominent Lebanese artist, Habib Shor, and said, "You have to see this boy's works." And after seeing the works, he was impressed that he pleaded and implored the family to allow him at 14 years old to pack his bags and go down to Beirut to be his apprentice. After a while, the family relented, and for 3 years, Saliba studied as an apprentice to this great Lebanese artist. And then he went to Paris to go to school, to further his education and his discipline in his art, where he won many accolades. From there, he returned to Lebanon, where he painted the murals in several churches, where he created a stained glass technique that he applied to other churches that used no lead. He was a visionary in his own time. And being successful in Lebanon as a very young man with his own gallery in Beirut and his own following in Beirut, his curiosity to learn and expand his knowledge led him to pack his bags and in 1948 come to America, to the home of his eldest sister Elizabeth, who's my grandmother. It was during this time that the Maronite priest in New York encouraged Saliba to move here, to move to New York City, above the church, to take a second-floor studio above the church. He said, "Take it for life. If you could only help the church with your murals and your sculptures and your stained glass pieces." And my uncle accomplished many pieces for the church. It was during this time that Saliba realized, like any other artist, as good as he was in his hometown and his country, when he came to the melting pot that was America, he was just another artist who did landscapes and portraits. Through a stimulating period of time in the 1950s, you have to read, I'm not the expert, with friends like Ed Reinhardt and Rothko, Saliba locked himself in his studio and developed his own technique, a hard-edged, flat technique that won acclaim. And these are the pieces that sit in the museums around the world for this acclaim. My father, Joseph A. Wiebe, was also involved with the churches in the civic community, not as an artist, but basically as a fundraiser. He raised money so that they could buy the plot of land to build the church. He raised money for the building fund so they could build the church. He organized and sponsored the first bingo in Springfield, Mass. At St. Mary's Church. That's the basis for every other fundraising effort, charitable fundraising effort. It's in respect to honor these two gentlemen who are long overdue that the foundation, that the Saliba Douaihy Foundation, is proud to announce the Joseph A. Wiebe Scholarship for the Arts. What we are looking for is not just somebody who's going to draw a picture and send it in. We are looking for passionate, dedicated individuals who are willing to live by the motto, respect, civility, understanding, and tolerance for others through the arts. When you look in the world, you see so much death and destruction. And it's your generation that is going to have an obligation to do something about that. And we challenge you from your art to stimulate people's mind away from violence and into the creative spirit. This is what we're looking for. Somebody who is passionate about their art. Somebody who's not afraid to take chances. Somebody who's not afraid to break convention. One time, in the late 70s, as I was with my uncle, and he was in between commissions, he was a little bored, and I says, why don't you sign your paintings? You've got many paintings sitting here, you don't want to depend on me to be the only verification. As we were going through these paintings, he said, this one's done, that one's done, and I would show him another one, that one's done, and I happened to show him one particular one, and he said, that's done. I says, no, it's not done. He said, it's done. And we argued. 5 minutes, very vocal argument. He says, this painting you feel passionate about? I said, yes, I do. He says, why? I says, because the landscape looks like it's so optimistic and sunny, but when you see the sky, it looks like God's hand is raining death and destruction on you. And they clash like this. And he says, as an artist, I accomplished my job with this picture only. All the other pictures you saw was just okay. That was nice, that was nice, that was nice. But this one made you stop, and this one made you think. We are looking for the next artist who can exhibit that same kind of passion in their art. I'd like to thank you for accepting our challenge, and good luck.